That's right. We've got Rain over here after successfully defending their LCS spot. Congratulations, Rain over. Now, first of all, I want to go back a little bit in the season to when you guys were making all these roster changes and right before the trade deadline. What was it like as a player with all these changes going on within the team?
Um, yeah, we have been struggling so like really hard on the early season. So like we definitely needed some changes. Like there was a lot of like issues on the team. Um, yeah, I mean as a jungler, dealing with a lot of roster change, new players are like pretty hard to adjust. But yeah, I feel like the effort we make, like I feel like it didn't really come out on the stage. We put so much effort on improving team and then trying to like fix our issues, but I feel like it just didn't show up single time. I honestly don't know like how like is it like that. So yeah, it was for as players it was really hard to deal with, but I guess like bringing double lift at the last point really helped us. I feel like we would have not make out of the relegation match without double lift. So really thankful for him to saving my job.
All right.
I think Matt stepped up really well, and then Piglet played like super well too, and Sam always super rock solid. So I just had to do my job, and yeah, I think it just yeah.
You made it.
Yeah, we made it.
What do you think are the next sets for Team Liquid moving towards summer? Because Doublelift has said that he definitely wants to try out for TSM at least. Are you guys planning to have more open tryouts maybe? Or have you had any part in scouting out players, or did you have any part in the open tryouts before?
Well, I was just way busy focusing on myself and the team's issues. So like I honestly didn't really care. I mean, I haven't been thinking about like the next season's roster yet. So I guess right now we finally win. Now I can have a break, so I can go back to home and then like try to like talk with the team and then like how like try to like talk about like the future of Team Liquid.
Well, you definitely deserve a break after those performances. Well done once again. Final question is going to be about the team you just beat, Goldcorn United. When they go up against Team Envy tomorrow, how do you think that series is going to go?
What was the MV versus United score? What was the score?
First time around, I don't remember.
Um, I think by facing GCU today, I feel like we got a lot of advantage from like kind of cheesy picks like Karthus. I definitely think they're a really good team, but I feel like last game, I think they play way worse than they can because it's like best of 5 and it's like last game, so they were playing really safe, but I mean passive. But I feel like they have really aggressive players and they play really well with it. So I think if they just play what they do on scrims on practice and what they did yesterday, I think yeah, they will definitely not definitely, but I think they have a better chance.
All right. Well, you get to take your much-deserved break now. Congratulations once again, and we are going to send it back to the guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kobe. A sigh of relief for Team Liquid and Team Liquid fans around the world as they do defend their spot in a 5th game here in the promotion tournament. I mean, who would have thought that it would actually come down to this, but it did. And I guess Doublelift can say mission complete.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the investment pays off.
That's right.
Doublelift, Rain over, Piglet, you get them all in there, they get the job done.
I am constantly amazed. It doesn't cease to amaze me that those 3 names can be on a roster that play in the North American LCS promotion tournament, but they did it, and they barely scraped through. But, you know, I do have to say that in this 5th game, they at least bucked some of the trends that had developed throughout the rest of the tournament, right? Piglet finally having a bit of a, I don't know, I even struggle to say standout, but he had a solid game here where he's not necessarily putting his team in a tough spot where they have to work around him. Now they're working with him from the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, he actually had a really good game for himself. You know, I have no problem saying that. I think that Matt definitely got him going with the roam up. Playing Malzahar early, you hit 6, you come mid, you know, no QSS yet on Phoenix at that point, and that gives Piglet pretty much a free kill. That gave him the first turret as well for solo gold, and that really did give him a big advantage, and I think they put him in a position to succeed, and he finally had a good game.
And just as we talked about, Liquid is a team that with a lead does understand how to use it to some degree, right? Again, these players are no stranger to playing in high pressure matches on the big stage with, you know, anything from a large goal lead to a large deficit. They've played through all the scenarios. So this time with a lead in their hands, it's all about the vision play, the vision game here from Team Liquid. Smart, play around the Baron and the global objectives to find the fights before they push forward into enemy territory.
Yeah, and I think this was actually really well done by them. It's all about the vision setup, as you pointed out. We've seen so many teams struggle around this point of the game to actually get the proper setup.
3 pink wards all around the Baron. We got 1, 2, 3 pixel brush there, bottom left corner. You can barely see it, but 3 pink wards securing vision around the Baron. Then we've got 3 green wards protecting all of the routes into that Baron for a contest from GCU.
Yeah, and they even had more vision further back. They had swept it out. They controlled this area for quite a long time. And as we roll the clip, you can see, how tough it is actually for GCU to have their vision. You're walking as this team, you think, okay, probably the Baron is being started. How do you actually approach it? Now it's spotted out.
You got to use an
Ari who can come up and pick you off, and Piglet gets a nice pick there. So it's a very tough situation, and just being able to pull them into this fight, created by a very nice vision setup, is what gets them the couple kills. They don't risk the 50-50, go back, get a free Baron, and that's what blew the game wide open.
And that's the thing, there's no criticism to throw towards Gold Coin United there, because that is a smart play crafted by the team ahead that puts you in a position where you have to make the better of 2 bad decisions, right? Do we go contest the Baron and maybe get picked and give up some kills, or do we just give up the Baron entirely and then try and turtle into our base? Because the vision was so strongly controlled, there's no good outcome for GCU.
Exactly. Once you're already in that situation, I agree there's no good outcome. Where you can throw some criticism is saying, hey, maybe they should have contested that vision more early, more often, right? And try to not let it get to that point. Because TL did do a very good job, and it's hard to contest, admittedly, because there's a fed Ari, someone who can get picks very easily, and I think that TL does deserve some respect for this setup, especially not just throwing it into a random 50-50 Baron, which we see so many teams do. So having some clean execution here in game number 5, and it's something a lot of teams can learn from.
Now, of course, we heard there in the interview that Rainover hasn't necessarily given much thought to the summer split, and of course, we wouldn't expect him to. But I'm going to ask you, looking towards the summer split, as a Team Liquid that came in with very lofty expectations week 1, and having those expectations just kind of get crushed all the way down to the point of let's just stay in the NALCS. What are the next steps? Is this we need to find a rebuild? Is this we need to find a new strategy? What's the approach here?
I mean, based off of how big some of the moves they've made in this last year are, I think it is a rebuild. I think that there's going to be some big changes. I would not be surprised if this is the last time we see Piglet, playing for TL.
Fair.
He had a great game here. Nothing wrong with that. But he has been at the bottom of the LCS. He was 12th in all major CSing stats. His laning was not up to par. And Team Liquid has very lofty goals. They came into this season wanting to win a championship, and they come away barely getting out of promo relegations, and people are calling that success. That is a pretty big failure for the organization. And I think with Doublelift leaving, you have to look for them to make major changes if they actually want to continue chasing that championship.
That's the thing. I think it's pretty telling when player of the series is going to be going to the person that's not actually on the team, right? Who has been very vocal.
Contract's
about
over.
Right. He's came in to save this team, has every inclination to try out and return to TSM after this. If he's your player of the series, then I think what you're saying about having a rebuilding period is a no-brainer here for Team Liquid looking towards the summer split.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he was a rock for this team ever since he came in. His laning stats have been fantastic. He's been solid throughout all the games, very consistent in late game team fighting, throughout the mid game. I think he's just been an outstanding performer. Rainover does deserve an honorable mention to me, because
Absolutely.
I think he has been stepping up and playing a lot more like the Rainover of old, and that is something that Team Liquid have been expecting from him. So if he can step up, it's still going to be tough, but I mean, there's a world in which, if Doublelift doesn't get the spot on TSM, he could stay with Liquid. And if he does take the spot from Turtle, we could see, Turtle looking for an AD carry role elsewhere, and the team maybe rebuilding around him.
Absolutely. A bit of a non sequitur, but I do have to say I absolutely really enjoyed watching Doublelift play on Team Liquid these last few weeks. Just, if anything, to see him play on a team that is struggling. Because Doublelift has had a storied career, and although not to, the greatest success at all times, he has always been regarded as one of the top players and largely been on top half teams. So this time around, to see him get kind of shoehorned into a situation where he has to be the catalyst for improvement for this team, it's great to see him step into that role and individually win bot lanes.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
I think it's super impressive, because it can be tough sometimes when you're looking at a really good team to tell how good is this guy, and how good is he looking because his team is really good, especially for AD carries. A lot of times people talk about when your team is winning, it's super easy to look good as an AD carry because your front line's stronger, everything is working easier for you, you're protected, and you can do a lot. But even when his team was struggling, Doublelift has still shined on Team Liquid. So I think there's not a lot to criticize about.
Very much so. All right, with today's results in the books, let's go ahead and take a look at Team Liquid having clinched their place in the 2017 NALCS Summer Split, while United will spend their next split in the Challenger Series. However, there is still one more spot up to grabs, and that goes to the winner of tomorrow's match, Gold Coin United versus Team Envy, with the loser joining United in the Challenger Series next split. So this is a big one tomorrow. Do or die time for both of these teams. Based on this series today, you have to assume Envy coming in with a bit more confidence off of a more dominant and more reminiscent victories of their LCS split, whereas Gold Coin United, kind of a tumultuous ride for them so far. They've had moments of brilliance, moments of failures. I don't really know where that team is sitting right now, and in terms of power level.
I mean, I think predictions have this a lot closer than everyone would have coming into the promotion tournament,
right?
Because everyone was predicting Envy to have too strong of an early game for the challenger teams. Gold Coin United have proven they can stand up. They've shown Phoenix as this dominant force throughout the couple days that we've seen him here, and I think that it's going to be pretty close. Envy has to have strong early games, I think, if they want to take down Gold Coin.
Yeah, of course, Gold Coin did beat them in the first go-around, so we'll see if they can do it again, but that's going to do us for today's broadcast. So on behalf of myself, the casters, and entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.